The next section in the pre-recorded lecture will be on network design considerations when we're thinking about efficient movements of trucks throughout a network. So there's different strategies that have been adopted to assist trucks and trucking companies and freight logistics as a whole. And some of these can be to design truck routes for freight connectivity. So they might be for over-dimensional truck routes. So of course, trucks that are too high, trucks that are too wide. Um, there might be hazardous load routes. So when they're moving certain items, maybe it's different types of fuels, for example, or of course high productivity vehicle routes. Sometimes some other strategies is combine these with route bans on unsuitable roads. So it might be that a certain road never allows vehicles over a certain weight, and that's usually aimed at keeping trucks off it. Or sometimes, and we've seen that in some of the inner western suburbs like Footscray and Yarraville in Melbourne, where they might actually have a curfew. So trucks aren't allowed to drive along those roads after 10 o'clock at night and before, say, 6 in the morning. And again, that's mainly aimed at keeping noise to a minimum. This next picture here just shows you a visual interpretation of Victoria's B double network. So again, as you can see, these B double trucks are actually limited to certain roads. So you can see that the green's the approved, orange is approved with certain conditions, and then for the red roads, you can only travel on them if with assuming approval is granted. So obviously there's an application process. The actual Vic Roads road train network, well, road trains aren't as common here as they are in other states of Australia, such as Western Australia, Northern Territory or Queensland. And at the moment, such road trains are only limited to the northwest of the state. So how do trucks use the road network? Well, generally speaking, like most motorists, but they do tend to stick to your freeways and your key arterial roads. And in this illustration here, you can see that these sort of roads are the ones that are actually in green. So you can see your freeways marked in green. Your blue is, again, effectively your motorways, let's call it, because they're actually toll roads, or even sort of black roads, which are your key arterials, so sort of like your Maroondah Highway, Princess Highway, and the like. This actually, this is based on some research work done by an ex-lecturer from the Transport Group here at Monash Clayton, Dr. Mia Sabiri, and actually just gives you an indication of obviously how Melbourne is actually used by trucks. So it probably comes as no surprise when you look at the previous graphic and then you look at this one that a lot of truck movements, of course, are along Melbourne's key freeways and motorways coming in from the west, the north and the southeast. However, unfortunately, congestion and the like on these roads inevitably push trucks onto arterial roads, which in turn causes other problems. And we've experienced a lot of that in recent years in Melbourne's northeast around suburbs such as Greensborough and Doncaster, which of course hasn't been helped by the fact that the Western Ring Road finishes in Greensborough, but also in the inner west through Footscray and Yarraville. This example here is the one in regards to Greensborough and the proposed extension of the Western Ring Road should hopefully address that. The jury is obviously out as to what impact it will have, because for those of you who may not be aware, the proposed extension is literally going to go south of where the Western Ring Road finishes and sort of come onto the eastern here at Kew. So obviously there's going to be an increase in traffic coming onto the east and around the Thompsons Road, Bulleen, Kew area. So again, but it should actually take trucks off key suburban roads, which is the key point of the exercise. Again, Footscray Yarraville I mentioned, it's been problematic over recent years, and again, they've started work just recently on an alternative to the Westgate Bridge, which again will allow trucks to get from Geelong and Werribee in the western areas of Melbourne and Victoria more directly into sort of like the inner industrial areas of Melbourne around the Docklands and where that semicircle is. So again, all of these, well, they're not really strategies. Well, they are strategies, but they're infrastructure projects should hopefully take trucks, or at least reduce the number of trucks on key local arterial roads, which in turn will make it safer for other road users, whether it be cars or, of course, bicycles. The Footscray Yarraville one's been quite a topical one here in Melbourne for a number of years, and here's just some illustrations of, I guess, volumes of trucks, issues that's happened, and of course the subsequent protests.